Hello, everyone. This is your host, Gabriel Mergenthal. I am here to host a new podcast today. Unfortunately, I haven't posted or done any podcasts in a very long time, so I'm sorry for those listeners that have been waiting for a new podcast. But today, I'm going to explain some new, recently occurring events and some more history of the Ghostbusters. Let's get to it. So recently, me being a part of the old Ghostbusting crew type situation, um, I have done. Me and my team have done more research on, technology and the paranormal, and we've also studied some cases that have recently occurred. And one of the situations that me and the boys, me and my partners, we've been to is someone's apartment a little farther down the street of where our little HQ kind of house building is. Our home, pretty much. So, this lady and her husband, we get a submission form from our website and we respond to her. And her case is that every single time she goes to bed for the past 3 weeks, she's been having suspicious paranormal anomalies or, like suspicious things happening. Like things are being thrown from surfaces, like maybe something might be moved from her counter to, her stovetop or something like that. And she put up a camera and she caught some interesting footage. Uh, we haven't been able to see it all yet, so I can't confirm if this situation was true. But me and the guys kind of responded to this, and we're like, okay, so when we kind of booked an appointment pretty much with her, we're like, oh, when can we come and check it out? If that's all right and whatnot. So we come over there and check it out, and we took some PKE surveillances, and we got some small minor um, readings on our newer meters, but we didn't really catch anything. So we asked to put up a camera, a couple cameras in some of the rooms. Um, Obviously excluding her bedroom or any private rooms, such as the bathroom. Not those people. But we got some footage of some things kind of moving, like a couple of her coats and jackets moving on its own, kind of like as if a wind was pushing them. But we're like, okay, so maybe that was a wind from a window opening, because we don't know if she opened a window prior to that. But when we played back the footage and kind of rolled the audio, we didn't really hear or see anything other than maybe some noises of maybe someone moving stuff in the kitchen. So we checked the kitchen, and well, there we have it, our evidence that something was there or is there. So the next morning, it's about 5 o'clock. We come over, and me and the guys have our traps already. And we got these giant stands, and they're ionizers. They're not actually called ionizers. But they pretty much ionize, low class entities. Um, and they shoot electrons everywhere, and they pretty much change the molecules of the ghost, pretty much, or the entity, whatever you want to call it. And fortunately, we got rid of the problem, or so we think. We haven't heard anything else from her. We haven't heard about any other disturbances. But that was a very recent occurring event, and it was kind of one of the first jobs we've had in a while. Not many people, I guess, question, paranormal activity, or they explore it on their own. But recently, we have built new equipment, and we're planning to build new equipment, and we'd also like to hopefully, come and solve your problems. For the people that, if there's anyone listening to this podcast that lives in St. Albans, Vermont, we are here, and we want you to contact us via our website. Our website will be linked in the description of the podcast video on YouTube, or you can find us on Twitter or Facebook, which those will also be linked in the description. But we want you to contact us, and we will solve your problems, or attempt to. Anyways, let's go over some history of the Ghostbusters. Some history of the Ghostbusters, or well, a paranormal group. So a while ago, and this is about 9 months ago, like 7, 8, 9 months ago, we've made what I would say some major improvements, or like major improvements at the time. It was an advancement of pretty much everything we've made, you know. It was an advancement of our equipment. So like our PKEM or PKEDs, which are psychokinetic energy detectors or monitors or meters, whatever you want to call them. Pretty much like a PKE meter, they want to say. But I don't want to say that because of Ghostbusters, the movie, and all that. But, you see, we made all these major improvements, and, you know, at the time, it was great. But when they really were put to use, one of our newer models kind of just died on us in the middle of using it. Like, we were testing it, and it just stopped working. Like, not because the battery is dead. Like, there's power running through the device and whatnot. And it was working great until, well, it stopped displaying anything on the screen. Like, the screen would light up, screen stopped lighting up. Recently, at the time, so let's say it's like 7 months ago. Let's act like it was 7 months ago. Recently, we, I guess, responded to a situation where we had no idea of what we were working with. Because, you know, you gotta think, we started this whole paranormal group thing, whatever you want to call it, business, I don't know. We started the whole thing like a year ago, a year and a half ago, probably like 2 years ago now. But we started it because we thought we were on to something. We thought, you know, this would be a new scientific breakthrough. And it really can be if you think of it that way, but the idea of ghosts being around, or being a thing, has been around for a very long time. So, in reality, I'm just sitting here and I'm like, okay, well, it's not really a breakthrough, but what we're seeing now is kind of a breakthrough with what we're working with. Like, we've never seen anything like this before. It's like a manifestation of, like, think of a 3-story mansion, right? Imagine that being haunted. Every room, corner, everything is haunted. And it lingers with a ghost on the entering the corporeal plane. But think of it like that, but times like 100 in like a 1-story like small house or small bit. So imagine more paranormal activity and energy flowing into a smaller structure. It was so bad we didn't even know what to do. And to this day, we're still going back there and still trying to figure out, like, what are we going to do? I mean, like, pretty much capturing and destroying a lot of entities in our path. So, I sat down with the guys, and now we're on a new mission. It's not just to hunt and, I guess, exterminate the paranormal, but it's not just studying, but we want to study more, and we want to capture the paranormal on a new level. We are working on some newer devices. We don't have the funding for this project at all, so we don't have any money to put into this project. And it's going to cost a lot of money. But we need a new car for, I guess, a squad, I guess. You know, because all the new equipment we want to do is we want to turn Ghostbusters the movie into a reality. Because if the paranormal exists the way it does in the movies, or the way people think it does, well then maybe we might be able to make the proton packs. Maybe we might be able to make the containment unit. maybe if we do make the containment unit, maybe we can capture an apparition, a ghost, an entity. We want to make that possible. So, hopefully in the future, we can get a better place, a better building to put this in, put all the equipment and the containment unit set up, and we get a better car. We are hoping in the future we get the funding, the time, the money to put into this. And we want to actually be able to wrangle and capture a ghost because we want to be able to prove that the science of ghosts is a thing that exists. The equipment we thought of is universal to all entities, all things that live in a universe of matter that, has the protons, electrons, neutrons, muons, pions, gluons, stuff like that. It's intense science, but it's something that we want to research and do more about. We want to prove the scientific theory of ghosts and apparitions. We want to capture said ghost or apparition or entity or whatever. We want to solve problems. We want to get shit done. We want to get it done. We want to do it. We want to solve problems, and we want to prove that science of entities and ghosts is real. If we are not, if none of this is true and it's just, whatever, something else, well then so be it. We proved something. We've done something. We use science to improve said theories of said topics. Well, that is all I have time for today, friends. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry for that. Thank you for listening to my podcast. I hope to speak again on the next podcast. Have a good time. See you then. Make sure to check out our website for any needs or information. If you live in St. Albans, Vermont, please contact us on our website or on our social media. Links will all be in the description. Thank you all for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next podcast.